Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Talk Star Wars. I'm Z, and with me here is Jay.
Hello there.
Yes. And what's today's topic?
Well, today's topic is get to know the Starkillers.
Yes. All right. Now, there are many characters named Starkiller. We'll start with the most boring. Starkiller Base. Yeah, that giant ripoff of the Death Star.
Yeah. Built the
Starkiller Base. Built by the First Order.
Starkiller Base about like 5 times bigger than the Death Star built into a planet.
For no reason.
Yeah.
It blew up.
Just because.
Almost the same way as the Death Star.
Pretty much.
Someone had to disable the shields. That was Han and
Chewie.
That was Han.
Well,
Chewie,
actually
and
no,
Finn.
it was
They disabled the power shields so that the exhaust vent, those X-wings, could shoot those torpedoes into the exhaust. Again.
They're trying to make it dramatic and nostalgic, and they just made a ripoff.
It's just an oversized ripoff.
Mm-hmm.
And an expensive one, too. Okay. Now, there's another one. In the new Andor series, there is a Easter egg to the Starkiller we all know and love from the Force Unleashed game.
Galen Merrick.
It is just his armor on a stand in his antique shop on Coruscant.
And they're not saying that the Force Unleashed games are canon. They're just trying to say that it could be an ancient relic kind of thing.
Yes, they're not saying it is actually his armor that he used. It is just an Easter egg. But to explain why it's there is that armor is ancient Sith armor. The armor does exist, the character does not.
But yeah, Galen Merrick, he main character in the Force Unleashed and Force Unleashed 2 games. Somehow he's the son of a Jedi on Kashyyyk, which is weird because Jedi aren't supposed to get married. Like, I know Revan did, and his wife was a Jedi, but I mean, they were both of them were both Jedi and Sith. So then they kind of found a balance between the two. So they don't go by the Jedi code or the Sith code.
Yeah.
But anyways, he came from Kashyyyk. Vader killed the Jedi and took him,
brainwashed him, and trained him to be
his apprentice. Big long game.
And then of course, you play the whole Force Unleashed, and then they were like, that game did so well, we need a Force Unleashed 2. How do we explain playing as the same character again? Yeah, I know. Vader doesn't like him, so he just clones him and kills the original. And that's where we get Subject 1138, the Starkiller clone. And that's who you play as in Force Unleashed 2.
He's supposed to be stronger than Merrick.
Yes.
Than the original one.
And then there's the Dark Apprentice, which is a failed, unstable clone of Merrick, which is hinted at in the opening sequence of Force Unleashed 2. They went through a 1,138 versions of Galen Merrick before they perfected it. One of them escaped, and that's the Dark Apprentice. Alright. Moving on. Yeah, we all know that one pretty much. Alright. Then there is Windy Starkiller. Supposedly, this is a minor human character who was a friend of Luke when he was a kid on Tatooine. And they were both friends with Deke, I guess, too.
Luke and Biggs and Deke and Windy.
That was the friend group that Luke was a part of.
They all have very, very exotic last names.
Yes.
Now, Windy isn't necessarily canon, because I'm pretty sure he's in a book about Luke Skywalker that's not actually canon. So, he may or may not be canon. Either way, he is there.
There is a separate character under a similar name, is mentioned as a dark commander known as Windy Starkiller, but it is not official to canon, or it's not official to the Legends canon or the Disney canon. So, the Windy Starkiller, as a childhood friend of Luke from Tatooine, is the official canon, whether you like Legends or Disney. But yeah. All right. Next one. Probably a more commonly known Starkiller is Bendak Starkiller. He is introduced in the Knights of the Old Republic video game, and he is a legendary Mandalorian Neo Crusader. During the during his time as a Neo Crusader, he was a highly skilled fighter and rapidly rose to the rank of Field Marshal. And that's where he gets his distinct golden armor. After the wars, he became a gladiator on Taurus underneath Azure the Hutt. Yes, the end of Bendak came in the video game. When you're playing as Revan, you kill him as part of the game. So, yeah, that's Bendak for you. He has really old Mandalorian armor, and it looks oddly weird, but oddly cool at the same time. I don't know how to describe it.
It looks kind of like a hazmat suit.
It looks like a hazmat suit. Next one. All right. Ophren Starkiller. He was a pilot for the Black Sun Crime Syndicate as an assassin. He was an assassin pilot. I don't know how that makes sense, but anyways. During the Galactic Civil War. So he was during the time of the Republic and Separatists. He primarily operated in the tattoo system. He was a very, very minor character. There is not much about him. Ophren Starkiller appeared aboard a starship and jumped to Lightspeed, the 2004 expansion pack for the 2003 video game Star Wars Galaxies and Empire Divided. An MMO video game developed by Sony, blah, 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 blah. Released in 2011. Actually, no, it closed on 2011. It's no longer a thing. Star Wars Galaxies and Empire Divided. But yeah, he was an assassin for the Black Sun, but he really only exists in a video game for Galactic Civil. Anyways. Alright, there's Ophren Starkiller for you. Moving on. Alright, Pashna Starkiller.
No, for Pashna Starkiller, there's actually two characters named Pashna Starkiller. One's a little more well known, has a little more information about him, but the more well known one
Was an Imperial general who later joined the Rebel Alliance and started the Grey Cadre during the New Republic era. Yeah. He appears in the Legends.
So the other version of Pashna is a Mon Calamari.
The Pashna Starkiller as a Mon Calamari, member of the Rebel Alliance, 1 year ABY. You're the assassination of an Imperial guy. Star Wars Galaxies and Empire Divided. That's where we're getting a lot of these Starkillers, I guess. It appears that also our next man, Banol Starkiller, was also from that same game.
I'd like to know why there are 3 people named Starkiller in that game.
Okay. Anyways, the next one is Banol Starkiller. He was a Rhodian, alive during the Galactic Civil War. So, yeah. The Rhodian, Banol Starkiller the Rhodian, was alive during the Galactic Civil War, and he worked primarily in Kashyyyk as a hunter, as a Rhodian hunter's camp. Alright, it is time for probably my favorite Starkiller. The original, where we get the name Starkiller from. Luke Starkiller. The original name for Luke Skywalker in the 75 and 76 drafts of Star Wars by George Lucas. George Lucas thought that for him being the peaceful Jedi, that Starkiller sounded too aggressive for his character, so he changed the name to Skywalker. This concept featured a more experienced hero, with designs by Ralph McQuarrie that were later added as a playable skin in the TSS video game.
He originally did not have a blue lightsaber. It was white with just a hint of yellow.
Yes.
And he also had a completely different costume. He was like, it looked more like an X-Wing fighter suit. Instead of him being the farm boy with the garments or whatever, the gi. Originally, he was actually from Utapau.
Yes, Luke Starkiller was supposed to be living on Utapau.
And then they changed it to Tatooine. And then later, in 2004 or 2005, they brought back the name Utapau for the planet where Grievous hides out. And also, Leia was not his sister; she was his cousin. It's funny if you think about it, because
Sweet Home Alabama. So, Mark Hamill, the actor for Luke, originally, quote, hated the change from Luke Starkiller to Luke Skywalker. He felt the original name was more masculine, and the new one sounded too similar to Fly Swatter. Hamill was so used to the original name that he actually filmed scenes using the name Starkiller, including the rescue scene from movie 4. And yeah, Lucas was like, no. And they forced him to reshoot the scenes as Skywalker, which is so hilarious.
And somewhere originally there was a character named Anakin Starkiller.
Spelled slightly differently.
Yeah.
Annikin. All eyes.
Kind of weird.
Yeah.
But anyways.
But that's part of it. When you're making an entire universe and a movie based on nothing but your imagination. You're going to have a lot of drafts that get scrapped and revisions. But yeah. Luke Starkiller is probably one of my favorite Star Wars characters, even though he doesn't actually exist. It's so fun.
And if you're interested in Luke Starkiller, I recommend looking up the images of the original Ralph McQuarrie art.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the one where he's battling against Darth Vader.
So good.
And you get to see the original Darth Vader, some of the original Darth Vader concept art too.
Yes. Very, very interesting. But the Darth is a future topic.
Anyways.
So there you have it. There is all of the Starkillers that we could find. There is 11 people. Or there's like 10 characters with the name.
There's nine characters, and then there's Starkiller Base, and then there's
the Easter egg.
The Easter egg in Andor.
Yep. Alrighty. There you have it. All the Starkillers. As always, thanks for listening. I'm Z.
I'm Jay.
And
don't forget to keep looking out for more episodes.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.